Hello everybody, it's Wakfu here, and in this episode I'll show you the Lunar altar. So this is the dungeon in Sadela Kingdom. It's kind of difficult. I would say that before you reach level 70 you shouldn't really venture there. Apart from that, there are a few tricks inside which you should follow. Another very important note is that there is no boss in this dungeon, like boss as such. You'll see how it works. So I think I'll discuss all the details during the fight, so well, why don't we start it? Okay, so this is room number 3 in the dungeon. The first two ones are not really worth showing in my opinion, because they're very easy. So I'll try to explain all the mechanics on the example of this room, and I'll try to also, in my opinion, this particular room is much harder than the final room with the boss. So basically, this is where most of the difficult combos happens actually. Okay. So well, first of all, as you can see, there are lots of those tiles around, and so unlike in those other low-level dungeons, in here those tiles can actually do something very nasty. So every single time you actually step on one of those tiles, it will heal every single monster in fight for quite a substantial amount. So it's about 100 healing, and every time you, as a player, step on this tile, you will also receive some kind of a penalty as far as damage is concerned. So I mean, you'll actually get hit for a lot too. Another important note, so it's really good idea to keep the monsters out of those tiles if you can. So in this room it's kind of hard, but well, you can manage. Yeah, it's pretty much the most difficult room because of that. It's really difficult to keep the monsters outside of those tiles, which means that they will just keep healing each other, ad infinitum really, so there's nothing you can do. Okay, so another thing here, there are those Lunar priestesses. They also appear outside of the dungeon, so you should practice the mechanics prior to taking on the boss room. I'd strongly recommend that one. So basically, these guys do have a lot of damage output. They have an ability to push you into those cells as well, so it's really difficult to stay outside of those. So basically they can push you by one tile, so it's a good idea to stay one tile away, 2 tiles away from every single special tile. Other than that, I would say that generally speaking you should try to focus Lunar priestesses first, which might be pretty difficult if you take into consideration the fact that they can actually spawn a moon. You could see it in the beginning of the fight, and as long as one moon is active, every single as long as one moon is in the fight, every single Lunar priestess is immune to taking any damage. So if you do not if you want to kill them fast, and it's really recommended because they can heal as well, and every additional amount of healing in this particular dungeon really hurts. So you want to kill them fast if possible. And to successfully do that, you really want to kill that moon. So, well, it was pretty lucky this time because I managed to kill it during the first 2 moves. You might not get this lucky, actually. So, if it's hidden behind line of sight and such, it will be really pain in the ass to kill. It's also immune to any kind of movement spells, which kind of sucks because you can't cooperate, attract it, or such. So it's gonna be really difficult for you to kill it, in my opinion. Okay. So once you killed it, you can hit the priestesses, but mind you that well, they can actually spawn another one too. So sometimes if they see a target, so it's a really good idea to kill a moon and then stay in their range so that they can actually attack you instead of spawning additional moons. That's what I'm doing here, basically. So I'm gonna try to finish them off as soon as possible. So since they can actually heal, as I told, every time as any monster or anything actually steps on the tile, you can get every single monster on the battlefield gets healed. It's a really bad idea to first of all use the summons you can't control, because they will just keep stepping on those fields. And then it's also not a good idea to use AoE here. So single target damage is basically what you should prefer, like prioritize, because you really don't want to spread the damage, because they can just heal everything, like every single damage you deal they can actually heal. So you don't want to do like AoE, because they can just heal and every single, like, your damage won't be useful at all. Okay, so I got this covered. So as you can see, those monsters do deliberately step on those tiles as well. So well, this is good, because AI just gets more like gets much smarter in this dungeon than it was before. So it's like a bit challenging, especially for those lower level groups. I was here at level 70. So well, another thing worth mentioning is that XP here is really great. So you can basically grind those monsters. And this dungeon, like, you also get like very decent loot from here, so it's like another profit. Okay, so I basically got a lot of levels in this dungeon. Okay, I'll try to kill this one as soon as possible. Okay, I should manage this turn. I think I should kill both. Well, at least one of them anyway. So this one goes down this turn, hopefully. This will basically sort this room, because once those lunar priestesses are dead, there's no real threat inside. Like, well, okay, so what other skills would I actually have to discuss as far as this dungeon is concerned? So, well, it's not like once you deal with priestesses, the fight is basically over, because the werewolves have AoE swipe attack, which can attack everything in front of them. Oh, you saw that Lunar Priestess just pushed my character. Well, so they can actually deal like really heavy damage. This is up to 200. So we don't really want to stand in a line unless you have to because of a challenge. And you might want to do the challenges since well, this dungeon is so good as far as the XP goes. Okay. So you don't want to stand in a line so that they can swipe attack you, because this will like really devastate a team which is like barely managing to do this dungeon. Other than that, I'm not really sure what else can I recommend. There's also another type of monster here, like those little wolves. It's called melee wolf or melee werewolf, whatever. Really, it's really difficult to pronounce that thing. But oh, I just failed the challenge because I was talking. Well, regardless, like those guys are pretty tough too. They can reduce your healing and deal very heavy physical damage. And you can't underestimate their movement, because they can actually buff themselves and move additional 3 tiles, I believe. Okay. So I got this one covered. Let's see. Okay, bull werewolves, apart from the swipe attack, they can also dodge, and they have very heavy earth resistance. So you'd probably prefer to hit them with air attacks, or like anything but earth, basically. Okay. What can I do here right now? I'll do this. So if you can manage, if you're patient enough, if you have time to do the challenges, it's really good idea to do them here, because they can really benefit you with like a lot of bonus XP. Okay. Yay, another bonus attack. Like, this is why I love Ica flips. Every single time you actually draw the God Ica flip card, you get so much damage output. Like, there's really nothing I think in this game that can compare to an Ica flip with God Ica flip card drawn. Oh, well, maybe there is, I'm just not experienced enough. Alright. So I'll actually try to level some of my water spells too. He dodged the attack. Jesus. This sucks. Okay, another thing is that, as you can see, those monsters here are quite healthy actually. So you kind of need decent damage output, like decent items and so on, to be able to complete this dungeon without much struggle. So many dodges, jeez. Okay, so this one is dead. But this one isn't, okay. So as you can see, like, generally speaking, combat here is just a bit tough. But once you get like the grasp of what the monsters can do and how do they behave, it's not really gonna be that hard. So first run is pretty much crucial for successful runs in this dungeon. If you just learn how do the mechanics work for each monster, then you really shouldn't have any trouble here. Okay, so here's the loot, nothing really particularly special. But this means that we can actually move to the final room. So let's see how this combat goes. Okay, so this is the final room of the dungeon. I've already started the fight, but it's like the first turn. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do both challenges here. Okay. So the first thing here is that you really have to kill the Lunar Priestess first, because in this room they have an ability to resurrect their allies. So it's like a necessity to kill them first. So no matter what kind of challenge you get, I really recommend killing the priestesses. Okay, so let's see how this one goes. I think I can kill the moon right now. No, I can't. Because I have no idea why, really. This is gonna suck a bit, and gets healed now, so it's gonna really suck. But yeah, generally speaking, you have to focus the moon. Like, they will engage on you anyway, because if they can't cast the moon, they will actually have to do that. Like, the AI forces them to. And I don't have the damage to kill it. Oh no, I do. Okay, perfect. So, because it's after their turns, I can actually start focusing the monsters right now. I probably failed the sedentary challenge because, let's face it, I won't be able to focus this well. Anyway, it's pretty much worth trying, regardless. Okay. So we have to kill them first, and then just the rest of the fight is pretty simple. It's worth mentioning that they do benefit from, they do, from the buff called Full Moon, which is normally active only when they have a moon active. I think it made sense. I think that what I said did actually make some sense. What a surprise, right? Okay. Okay, I should have the MP. Yeah, I do. So basically you want to burst them as fast as possible. Okay. I think I'll save the kitten for the next turn when I can use it to kill another one. Okay. It's worth saying that Lunar Priestess actually have AoE attacks, so those bright rays. This is actually called Lunar attack, so this is actually AoE in a cross pattern, which does kind of hurt. Okay, another critical hit on the N-Rape side. This is very lucky. Okay, so it shouldn't be a problem because if they can attack you, they really won't try to summon more moons. But if they can't attack you, if they don't have you in the range, they will actually. Each of them has an ability to summon one moon per fight. So it's worth to like eliminate them if you can. Okay, no faker stuff. I don't want to risk like messing something up here. This one goes away. And now I can focus the final one, and then it's gonna be really easy fight. Also, this challenge is pretty damn lucrative, so I should see some nice drops. So let's just hope I don't fuck up somewhere in the process. Okay, I got locked, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So now I have to focus the bull werewolves. Then it should be like, okay, I could actually, if I got the unhealable challenge in this, like incurable, I think it's called incurable. If I got that challenge in this fight, I could basically do it without any problems. Okay. I just back off a bit. So it really depends. This fight, this boss room fight, really depends on how the priestesses act and where is the moon spawned. Because if you can reach it and kill it in the first turn, it's gonna be really easy. If you can't, however, you may run into some difficulties. Just move away. Okay, so this fight is just going all the way as I want it to go. Okay. Alright, so this monster goes away as well. Okay, so I managed both challenges apparently. So let us see the loot. And here we go, nothing. Wow, this is like really weird. So nothing special. I got a cloak, I got a tear. So I guess I shouldn't really complain, but I saw better loot really, but yeah. I had 150 prospecting bonus just from the challenges. Correct. But yeah, you see how these fights can go. So basically the final room is kind of easy because there's like a lot of space. There are not so many tiles. They aren't stacked, so the monsters can like proc every single one of them as they move through. And well, the trick here is just to kill the priestesses first, and then to eliminate the rest of the monsters, well, just as you would wish to do that. So the order there doesn't really matter. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please do subscribe if you found this useful, and I will try to publish some more videos during the next week. So see you guys.